Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. First hard fact of the day: 131 new confirmed COVID cases over the weekend. It's a big drop from what we've been seeing. Usually, our weekend figures are in the 200s or 300s, but now we're almost down to double digits. Yesterday's numbers were actually just 35 from only 6 states. So clearly, COVID is in decline in Nigeria, but it doesn't mean that we can relax. I mean, look at India, right? One moment, their prime minister is declaring victory over COVID, and the next, they're seeing thousands dying daily. So, as long as COVID is still out there, don't get caught slipping. Keep your guard up. Limit your movement to the essential things. Wear a mask when you do have to go out. Keep your distance where possible. Wash your hands. Sanitize your hands as often as possible. Second hard fact of the day: 1,015,714 Lagosians listened to hard facts in February. I know. It's amazing. I really appreciate it, honestly. I mean, you've welcomed me into your homes, your offices, your cars. Every weekday, you choose to make me a part of your afternoon. You choose to call me. You choose to share your opinions with me. You choose to share your experiences with me. You choose to listen to me. And I'm very aware of this every day. It's very humbling. And it's what pushes me to give you my best every day. And I promise you, I'm never going to stop. They're going to have to do my funeral in this studio with my headphones on, because as long as you keep giving me your afternoons, I'm going to keep giving you hard facts. Here's to the next million. I mean, 1 million Lagosians cannot be wrong, right? So keep listening to hard facts. I have a show full of insights and context for the day's biggest stories, starting with the big weekend. We'll talk about the current security situation. Then let's talk about the FG ending salaries for House officers. Then let's talk about the new Lagos State anti-corruption law. And then we're going to talk about the new COVID outbreak in India. On Checkpoint, Chukwudi Ezugwu will be talking about cultism and drug use in Lagos. On today's Big Hard Fact, we'll talk about the controversy surrounding Issa Pantami, the communications minister. You've heard what he said in the past. You've heard his response to what he said in the past. You've heard the response from the presidency. And you've heard the criticisms from the PDP and can. Now we're going to hear from you. 5 o'clock. That's when that conversation will happen. 5 p.m. News updates will come your way at the top of every hour. If you want to win just a minute, you need to listen to every single minute. Of course, we'll hand you over to Rufai for conversations after the news at 6. Let's get started with the big weekend, Lagos. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three.
On Hard Facts. On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Is the security situation getting worse? What happens if the federal government stops paying house officers? Does Lagos need an anti-graft agency? And should Nigeria end flights coming in from India? It was a really big weekend. Choosing what we could talk about this afternoon was quite a battle, but we're going to do our best to cover as many things as possible, starting with Lagos. Lagos state government is setting up its own anti-corruption agency. But is there a mandate clash? Does its mandate clash with that of the EFCC? The State Assembly passed the Lagos State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Law, and Governor Sanwo-Olu has signed it. This law creates a new commission to investigate and prosecute economic and financial crimes, as well as cyber crimes. But this weekend, there was a bit of a debate over whether the law stops the EFCC from investigating cases in Lagos. The confusion is coming from two subsections of the new law. Section 13, subsection 3 says, quote, that's the Lagos law, says, quote, the commission shall upon the commencement of this law take over the investigation of all anti-corruption and financial crime cases involving the finances and assets of Lagos State government being investigated by any other agency, end quote. And Section 13, subsection 5 says, quote, the Commission shall have the power to the exclusion of any other agency or body to investigate and coordinate the investigation of corruption and financial crime cases involving the finances and assets of the state government, end quote. So some analysts think that the goal is to stop EFCC and all other agencies from investigating or prosecuting corruption cases in Lagos. Now, if that's the case, opinions are split on the legality. Because you have some legal experts saying that the states cannot stop the federal government from doing something that the Constitution allows it to do, such as investigate and prosecute crimes. But that's a debate I'll leave for you, who are the lawyers, who will give me a call right now. What do you think about this new state anti-corruption agency? Do you think it makes sense? What do you think about those subsections in there? 0700-993-993-993. Our number for women is 01-465-7190. 01-465-7190. You can also send us a message via WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. 080-959-75805. Do you think this new new state anti-corruption agency makes sense? We've got Kayode, who's a first-time caller. He's in Igondo. Hello, Kayode.
Hello, good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to find out, one, is this law, the law, how is it going to clash with the EFCC? I want to find out, is it on the concurrent list or the exclusive list? That's number one. Number two, which law agency is going to be investigating the crimes according to the Lagos State law? Is it the police? And if it is the police, how do we expect that they are going to cooperate with the Lagos State officials in the prosecution of officials where that is caught by the law? These are questions that legally must be tackled. As far as I'm concerned, the establishment of a corruption law in Lagos State is neither here nor there because, one, the political class can hijack it and use it to protect their own. That's one side that we need to look at. And they can also use it to victimize political opponents. So it's something that, be that as it may, it has its good sides and its bad sides. But I think that the legality of the law should first be ascertained before we can now begin to debate on what the law can be used to, whether it's going to be beneficial to the masses or not. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling and contributing. Matthew is also in Igondo. Hello, Matthew. Thank you very much for calling us.
Hello?
Hi, Matthew. Thanks for calling.
Yeah. I think the Lagos State government setting up this anti-corruption
agency
thing is political.
Okay.
They have hidden agenda. In my own mind, I want to assume it's just for them to cover up all the political appointees in the state that must have siphoned money.
Okay.
E.g., for instance, now Tinubu is being persecuted or being investigated by the EFCC. So why would Lagos State set up their own parallel anti-corruption panel again?
Okay.
It has political undertone. That is my message.
All right, Matthew.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling. If you just joined the show, we started with one of the biggest stories from over the weekend. The Lagos State government is setting up its own anti-corruption agency. The State Assembly passed the Lagos State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission law, and Governor Sanwo-Olu signed that law. The law creates a commission to investigate and prosecute economic and financial crimes as well as cyber crimes. So, it's within the realms of what the EFCC does, right? Now, over the weekend, it caused a bit of a debate over whether the law stops the EFCC from investigating cases in Lagos, because there are some sections in the law that got lawyers talking. So Section 13, subsection 3 says, the Commission shall, upon the commencement of this law, take over the investigation of all anti-corruption and financial crime cases involving the finances and assets of Lagos State Government being investigated by any other agency. Section 13, subsection 5 says the Commission shall have the power to the exclusion of any other agency or body to investigate and coordinate the investigation of corruption and financial crimes cases involving the finances and assets of the state government. End quote. So the analysts who I spoke with before I got on air were saying to me, Sandra, I think the goal is to stop EFCC and all other agencies from investigating or prosecuting corruption cases in Lagos. If that's the case, I'm not sure it's legal. That's what the analysts are saying to me. Now, the lawyers I spoke with said to me that states cannot stop the federal government from doing something that the Constitution allows it to do, like investigate and prosecute crimes. Now, if you're a lawyer listening to the show, it would be interesting to hear what you think. So give us a call. 0700-993-993 0700 993 993. You can also call 01465 7190 if you are a female lawyer. 01465 7190. Even if you're not a lawyer, you simply want to tell me whether or not you think Lagos needs its own anti-graft agency, go ahead and give us a call. We've got Christopher in Ikoyi. Hello, Christopher.
President Sandra.
Thanks for calling us. Hello? Oh, no. 99.3. Hello? 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 All right, then. 99.3. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
President Sandra. How are you today?
I'm very well. What's your name?
Yeah, very, very welcome back to your studio.
Thank you.
My name is Prince Wise. Greeting you from Amuwood office.
Okay, welcome.
Anti-corruption by Lagos State Government. Isn't it?
Yes, what do you think?
It's in order now.
It's in order, okay.
Yes. I want all the state governors to have anti-corruption
agencies, okay. Prince Okay, maybe call us back. We've got Leonard on the show. Is it Leandro?
Okay.
Is it Leandro?
Okay.
Is that your
Yes,
name?
this is Leandro speaking.
Leandro, welcome. Your first time caller.
Okay. Well, let me start. The law created by Lagos State government is, to me, it's not a bad idea.
Okay.
Neither is it a good idea.
Okay.
First and foremost, what are they telling us that the Lagos law supersedes the federal law? I believe the federal law governs the whole of Nigeria, not a set of Nigerians. You understand now?
Okay.
Now, the Lagos law, if the governor of the state can give us a good idea of what to expect on this particular law, stating that the law is meant for the public servant in Lagos. Do you understand? Then it will be good idea. They don't to checkmate their employers or public service order in Lagos.
Okay.
Lagos State specifically. But when it comes to federal, like federal investigating, that is the federal government investigating a particular set of people, then the Lagos law does not apply. I am not a lawyer. By the service of God, I try as well as to understand the Nigerian law. Do you understand now?
Okay.
So if the Lagos State says it wants to run it simultaneously, then there's going to be a conflict of interest. Because if you look at the Lagos law, the law that they have been just set up now, or sent into law, you discover that there's a little flaw in it. They are trying to protect a particular class of people, which most of us will say the highest bidder. Do you understand now?
Okay.
So the Lagos State government should actually come out to really actually define it properly for the people who is going to use it, so that we understand which area that the Lagos law is heading to. Thank you.
Leandro, thank you very much for calling. Shalai, Maryland, hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Sandra. How are you today?
I'm very well. Thanks for calling.
Thank you. I'm not a lawyer, but I want to contribute to what is going on.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, I don't have an issue with the anti-corruption law, except the provision
Okay.
that says it precludes it supersedes all other laws, if I'm correct. This is corruption. I see in that a political undertone.
Okay.
2023 is around the corner, and as we all have heard, Asiwaju wants to become president of Nigeria.
Okay.
So that law is actually to protect him. That's the essence of that law.
Okay.
Because I don't see any tribunal that will sit in Lagos that convict Asiwaju Tinubu. It won't happen.
Okay.
And according to their game, once he's free once that tribunal, whatever they set up, frees him, then ESG cannot investigate him anymore. So I think it's more political and strategic than loving Lagos and loving Lagos' assets. That's not the motivation. It's political. It's Asiwaju that they want to protect. That's all. But I also think that it's dead on arrival, really. Okay. I don't see how a state, by its laws, will supersede laws guaranteed by the Constitution. That doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
So I don't think it will work. I hope that the AG will sit up and do his work and contest that law. That law doesn't make any sense. It's not for Lagos State. It's for Tinubu. So that it can be declared clean, like if it was declared clean, and he will then go contest with president. Because I believe that 2023, a lot of facts will be brought out. People will be made to answer questions because they want to kill them out politically. So he's trying to protect his tracks. I don't see any tribunal in Lagos that will declare Tinubu guilty. I'm not sure it will happen now or in the next 2 or 3 years. So it's for him, really. That's my take on it.
Thank you very much for calling,
It's
Shola.
not for Lagosians, not at all. Thank you.
Shola, thank you very much. Shola says it's not for Lagosians. All right, let's move on to our second story. The federal government may stop paying house officers' salaries. It's a story that broke on Friday. NAN is reporting that the National Council of Establishment took the decision, the NCE. They're the highest decision-making body in the federal civil service. And NAN says that they've agreed to stop paying salaries to medical house officers, dental house officers, nurse interns, pharmacist interns, medical laboratory science interns, and NYSC doctors. Now, who are house officers? Basically, when a medical student graduates, they get inducted into the profession. From that point, they are a doctor, but they are a doctor in training. They now need to find a hospital to do the housemanship for a year. In that year, they'll be treating patients while getting on-the-job training. After that, they go for their NYSC, where they still continue treating patients. Then after that, they can become specialists. So before now, house officers in federal government hospitals were paid a salary since they obviously were working. But now the Federal Civil Service is alleging that they're going to remove them from the salary structure because, quote, the council based its decisions on the grounds that the period of these programs and services form part of the trainings in their respective professions, end quote. Now, I should point out that in other countries with the house officer system, they get paid a salary. In the UK, they get paid. In the USA, they call them interns, but they also get paid. So a lot of the medical professionals I spoke to this weekend were quite shocked by this decision. In fact, the NARD is on the record, the National Association of Resident Doctors. They're on the record saying that this decision will work against the interest of Nigerians. Because this decision affects officers, house officers in every federal medical center, every general hospital, every federal university teaching hospital. And I did some checking on the MDCN website, the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria. They are the ones who approve hospitals to train house officers. And according to them, there are about 2,500 of these house officers deployed. Now think about this. As of 2019, MDCN said that there were 39,912 registered doctors, and that includes doctors who are registered here but have left the country. So 1 out of every 16 registered doctors is a house officer. But by the time you subtract all the senior doctors who have jabad, that number may be down to 1 in 10 or more. And now the federal government will not be paying their salaries. Which leads to the big questions about what happens next. Will state governments step in? Will state governments pay these doctors? Will these doctors be forced to accept that they're going to go without a salary for the first 2 years of their practice? Like 2 of the toughest years, they're going to go without salaries? How many of these doctors will remain in the profession if that ends up happening? What are we really telling people who want to save lives as medical doctors? No be where person chop where suppose walk where suppose chop. What do you think of this thing that the federal government is doing? What do you think about the federal government ending salary payment to house officers? 0700-993-993-993. Yes, you can still talk about the Lagos State Anti-Graft Agency. You can still talk about that when you give us a call. We still have coming up security stories, lots of security stories from this weekend. And we're also still going to talk about more stuff that happened over the weekend after the break. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. This is Nigeria Info 99.3. We're streaming live on Facebook, Nigeria Info FM. We're also streaming live on YouTube, Nigeria Info 99.3. And there's WhatsApp available, so please share your thoughts with us via WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. 080-959-75805. The number for women is 01465-7190. And the number for men is 0700-993-993. 0700-993-993. And for women, 01465-7190.
Whoever said you were too young to dream? Whoever said your business isn't what the world needs? Let your innovation take flight. With the right understanding of how to start, grow, and scale your business, you too can be transformed. The Transforming Nigeria Youth Program is brought to you by the MasterCard Foundation, Young Africa Works, in partnership with the Enterprise Development Center, Penn Atlantic University. This free program offers a step-by-step basics of running a successful business wherever you are.
To apply, visit reg.smetoolkit.ng/betransformed. For more inquiries, please call 0909-462-1652 or 0909-924-1623 or 0809-4468-117. You can send an email to youngafricaworks@pau.edu.ng.
Transforming Nigeria Youths. Be transformed.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
0700-993-993-993. You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. So I've just been pointed to another circular from the Office of the Head of Civil Service, where they seem to be saying that we misunderstood the first circular that came out. So I'm going to read it verbatim for you. Here's what they said. Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation press statement, circular on internship program in civil public service. The attention of the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation has been drawn to publications making the rounds on social media platforms with regard to the establishment circular on the above subject. It has therefore become important to make the following clarifications. The circular does not in any way suggest or prescribe the discontinuance of remuneration, salaries, and earned allowances for interns as being speculated. Moreover, internship is a period of work experience offered by an organization for a specified period of time. It is typically undertaken by students and fresh graduates to gain relevant skills in a particular field before being admitted as practitioners of the particular profession. And the schemes of service details the schemes of service details the requirements for full employment and career progression within the civil public service. It's important to reiterate that the circular does not seek to alter the wage structures of the internship programs of different professions. The above clarifications are for the avoidance of doubt and further guidance. Signed, Abdul Ganiyu Aminu, Director, Press and Public Relations, Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation. Okay. We've got Emmanuel on the line in Ogun State. Hello, Emmanuel. Are you there? No, he's not. Sorry about that. Call back if you can. Hello. Hello. Sorry about that. We've got more people calling in. 99.3. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
I'm Steven. Calling from the Korodu.
Stephen, it's very noisy where you are.
Okay.
Are you using an earpiece?
No, not really. I'm at work.
Oh, okay.
I work in a factory.
Oh, I see. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, but can you hear me better?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. So, you see this Nigerian government, they really don't think about the citizen and they are not working for the citizen.
Say that again?
They can collect it. I mean the Nigerian government.
Oh, no. Sorry about that. Call back if you can, okay? We've got Kayode Nikotun on the line. Hello, Kayode.
Hello, Sandra. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. About the first story. You see, if we want to be a federal republic, then we have to accept what being a federal republic means. I think every state actually has the right to prosecute crime committed within its territory. And I think it's in the interest of the public that's like that. Because especially if you have states where, like, people are complaining about Tinubu, if the state does not prosecute Tinubu, then the federal should go ahead. The only thing that will be wrong about it is the exclusivity, which is there. And I'm sure that when it's contested in the court of law, it's going to be thrown out. You cannot have exclusive access to prosecuting anybody. It's not right. But as regards, the EFCC cannot prosecute everybody in that state. They don't have the manpower to do that. And that's why a lot of people get away with all these things. And even the EFCC, okay, don't let me let something I can't prove here. But they don't have the manpower. So we should accept that a federal republic, if you want to have your own state police, you want to have access to your own resources, then why are you saying they should not prosecute because of just one person? Why are you looking at the law and you're looking at it because of one person? The day that person dies, what happens to the others? You can't be analyzing a law because of just one person. Sandra. Thank you.
Thank you, Kayode, for calling. We've got Val in Festac. Hello, Val.
Hello, good afternoon, Sandra.
Welcome.
First of all, I think it's a good thing that they sent a circular to clarify the issue of the doctors and all that. It would have been unfortunate.
Yeah, but the clarification doesn't even clarify anything.
but it will be a deal breaker if they decide to stop that payment. It's going to cause serious problems in the system. Yeah. That shows that the medical sector might end up collapsing because everybody will always seek. They will just decide to seek for greener pastures. Then for the first issue, the Ministry of Finance, at least in every state, should have a unit that is in charge of anti-corruption, malpractices, and all that. Right. That should work in line with the Independent Corrupt Practices Corruption Commission or the EFCC, which are automatically national bodies. At least they have offices for each particular state. So they should be affiliated to these particular chapters or offices in each particular state. For them to come up with this kind of law to prosecute cases relating to Lagos, that means they are trying to protect certain individuals who have maybe prospective interest in becoming leaders or something in the country. I don't think it's acceptable. The EFCC, if they are having challenges prosecuting cases, then I think the best bet should be strengthening, either bringing in more manpower, strengthening every office in different states of the federation, and make it possible for them to function effectively, instead of forming or coming up with new law to prosecute only people in Lagos State. It's not acceptable. It's obvious that they are trying to protect certain people. That's how I see it.
All right, Val, thank you very much for your message. Dennis in Victoria Island says, this is the worst type of gaslighting or the worst use of English in history. I'm not sure which. This new memo does not dispute anything at all. It instead makes a straw man argument about changing the wage structure, which nobody accused them of of doing. This memo doesn't say anything. It's trying to claim that the medical doctors we call interns are the same as interns in school, but that is not accurate. The use of the same name or title is coincidental. The world over, in any country that uses the British medical system, house officers or interns are employees collecting a salary. The first circular makes it very clear that the NCE is trying to remove house officers from the salary structure. All right, Dennis, thank you very much for your message. Let's go on to our final story, and then we'll take all your calls as we go ahead. Lots of security stories this weekend. Just this morning, we got reports that the Air Force may have accidentally bombed a Nigerian army position yesterday. The reports are coming out of Mainok in Borno State. Apparently, Boko Haram fighters attacked the army base there, and the soldiers engaging them requested for air support. But allegedly, when the Air Force jets got there, they fired on the army position instead of the insurgent position. The Air Force spokesman, Edward Gabquet, said that they're investigating what happened. There's a video of the aftermath online, and Gabquet acknowledged that the High Command has seen the video and that they're looking into it. Now, the cable is carrying an interesting detail. They're quoting a soldier at the scene who said that the insurgents came with 4 mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicles, or MRAPs. Now, these are not pickup trucks that you can buy at the dealership. These are specialized military vehicles. The question is, how are the Boko Haram insurgents getting their hands on MRAPs? It's either they are driving them into the country, or they're smuggling them in, or they're capturing them from the army. But say for a moment that they're bringing them in. The question is how? Remember that until very recently, the borders were even meant to be closed. But even if the land borders were open, they're still supposed to be monitored, right? Nobody should be able to drive a military-grade vehicle into Nigeria without being stopped. But the prevailing theory is that they may have stolen them from the Nigerian army. And then, of course, there's a question of how Boko Haram can afford these types of vehicles, these types of weapons, if they are importing them. Last week, the Daily Trust did a report that inside the NFIU, that the government has arrested about 400 bureau de change operators. That's what the report claims, that they have a source inside the NFIU, that these bureau de change operators allegedly funding Boko Haram. Now, Daily Trust does not name their source. We have no official confirmation of this. But we now have Senator Alin Dume responding to it. He's the chairman of the Senate Army Committee. And he is saying that if this is true, then the government should reveal the identities of these BDC operators. Try them in public. Ndume said, quote, "The presidency said recently that Nigerians would be shocked if it is revealed that the identities of those who are sponsoring the Boko Haram insurgents." Can you imagine that 400 bureau de change operators are the people funding Boko Haram? When the BDC operators are arrested now, what will the government do with them? The presidency is already saying that their case is confidential. What is confidential about it? The presidency should expose the identities of all the BDC operators so far arrested and carry out their trial in public. If any of them is innocent, he should be allowed to go, while those found guilty must be made to face the music. When I was wrongly accused, I was tried publicly and I was vindicated. The trial lasted 6 years in an open court, end quote. That's what Alin Dume said. Now, on the one hand, some will say if the government is catching the funders, they should be doing it in secret so that they don't tip the other people off, right? It's a cat and mouse game. On the other hand, some people will say it's important to have arrests and trials in public so that we make sure that the innocent are protected and the guilty cannot buy their way to freedom. They may also point out that when the government froze the accounts of NSAS protesters over concerns about terrorism, it was also public. We had the list of the people whose accounts were frozen. So I don't know, how do you see it? Which way do you see it? And then you move from Borno State to Rivers State, where gunmen attacked 4 checkpoints, reportedly killed up to 8 security operatives, including soldiers and police. Police are confirming that it happened on Saturday along the Port Harcourt Owerri Road between Elele and Omagwa. By the way, that's the road that leads to the airport. Police say that they're investigating. Now, these are just a few of the security stories that broke. We haven't even gone to Kaduna, where a church was attacked, several people were killed, and some of them abducted. What are your opinions on these security stories? What do you think about Nigeria's security situation? Is it getting worse? And yes, you can still talk to me about Lagos State creating its own anti-corruption agency. Does Lagos need an anti-graft agency? Is it the securities? I don't even know what to ask again. I'm just going to come to the phone lines. 01465 7190. 01465 7190. That's the number for women. For men, 0700 993 993 993. WhatsApp is 080 959 75805. Oh, and don't forget to tell me what you think will happen if the federal government stops paying house officers. 99.3. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for calling. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Dubem.
Dubem, welcome. Go ahead.
The question on whether does Lagos need an anti-graft agency? To be frank, actually, if we have to practice true federalism the way it is, because Lagos, for them to actually start with that process, they must have seen a loophole in the constitution. If we have to actually practice true federalism, every state deserves to monitor and administer whatever happens in the state. So in that light, I think they ought to have. But when you look at it critically, we already know that actually the idea might be to shield some big names that might have been fingered in the issue of corruption. But in the actual sense, if you have to practice what it is, states deserve to have.
Okay. All right. States deserve their own anti-graft agency. 99.3.
Sandra, sorry, Jare. The network is not helping matters.
Sorry. What's your name?
Hello, President Sandra.
How are you? What's your name?
Welcome back. I was waving you at the Bahamas airport with your convoy. You didn't see me. Yes, I was waving. Say, that's my president going. Your convoy. That was cute. Welcome back, my sister.
Thank you very much.
Then for the Lagos State anti-whatever corruption law, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for Attorney General. You know, there was a time when they asked him, oh, is EFCC investigating the national leader of APC? He said, well, he didn't have any idea of that, but nobody is above investigation, right? Okay, for example, now, if this thing fly, this Lagos State anti-corruption whatever law, you know the first target?
Who's the first target?
The guy that left office before this one there now. Because they expected the federal whatever. They tried all means to nail that guy. They couldn't. So with this, that guy will be number one. Then to protect their Baba Sokpe, I'm telling you. So they should not allow that thing to fly. Because who is the judge? Who will head that agency?
It has already
that will want
flown.
to try?
It's already a law in Lagos.
That's what I'm saying. Who will head
the
it?
governor has signed it.
Who will head it to try the Baba Sokpe in Lagos? Who will do that? So they should not allow that thing to fly. Like you said, let lawyers call and hear what they will say. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. On Twitter, Star Rat says, haha, Sandra, when you read the conditions of that anti-corruption law of Lagos State, I laughed. The first name that came out of my head was Tinubu. So with that new law, they can decide to die any corruption allegations of some persons of interest. This is nonsense, total nonsense. All right. Chinedum says, after my internship 3 years ago in Lagos University Teaching Hospital, I spent over 60,000 naira to renew my annual medical license. After I went for NYSC, I spent over 60,000 naira to renew my annual license. Imagine if I wasn't earning during that period, which I for do. They call it a learning experience, but we still have to pay for license during that period, and it's not even small money that we're paying. Thank you very much for sending your message in, Chinedu. Jonathan says, Sandra, imagine a state that's refusing to pass Freedom of Information Bill into law in Lagos State since the regime of Jonathan, passing into law, coming to tell us that they're setting up their own anti-corruption agency. Isn't it laughable? It goes to show how retrogressive they are. But is this a retrogressive law? Is it retrogressive, this law? We've got more messages on Twitter. Strictly Money says, Lagos State does not need anti-graft agency. It's part of an agenda to cover up Tinubu's corrupt past. Okay. Let's see more messages on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. We've got Paul Idemudia from Surulere who says, Sandra, I don't know who to believe between Boko Haram and the Nigerian army. How can Nigeria Air Force accidentally bomb an army base? I believe the havoc in that military base was wrecked by Boko Haram. The claim by Air Force is merely face saving. Okay. We've got more people who are sending us messages via WhatsApp. The insecurity all over the country might be an orchestrated plan for the military to take over so that power does not shift to the east. Just exactly what happened during President Shehu Shagari's regime in the 80s. That's a message from CJ in Ogun State. CJ, thank you very much for sending your message. Sandra, Lagos is trying to become independent of the federal government, and to me, it's a welcome development. Let all the states get autonomy. My from RCCG says. Mike from Agbara says, I thought it was the state house or federal house that they were talking about. All I can say is that it's a big shame, and my advice to these house officers is that they can see what they can see that they are not a priority, so let them jabba for their own good. Thank you, Sandra. If they jabba, who will take care of you? Yeah, if all the doctors jabba, who will take care of you? These are the doctors who are currently seeing you when you go to, the Lagos State Teaching Hospital and the University of Lagos Teaching Hospital. So they are the ones who are seeing you. They're the ones who are taking care of you. They're the ones who are, doing the rounds, etc., etc. Before you see the consultants, etc., etc. If they all leave, and you see how difficult it is for you to get a doctor, you see how few the doctors are, how few and far between, how overworked they are. If we are making it even more difficult for them to stay here, who will treat you? You can't afford private hospital. You also can't afford to jabba. So is that really the answer? Should we be telling them to jabba, or should we find a way to get the government to do the needful? We've got Ororo from Ayobo who says, please remind me of the Lagos State Governor again. Let me talk to Solomon Ikorodu. Hello, Solomon.
Sandra.
Thanks for
calling.
How are you? I'm fine.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah. I want to talk about insecurity in the country.
Go ahead.
Sandra, now 45 years.
Okay.
Since I have been born, I have not seen Nigeria in this situation. I'm telling you the fact. The insecurity is getting out of hand. And we have a retired general, Sandra, in the home of affairs. I believe what late General Sani Abacha said, that any insecurity that lasted more than 48 hours, government have hand in it. See what is going on now. Well, I'm not surprised. When we have a terrorist in the country, in the cabinet as a minister. Well, Sandra, thank you.
Thank you very much, Solomon, for calling 99.3. Sorry about that. The number to call is 0700-993-993-993. We've brought you several stories today. We have one more, and then we'll call it a wrap. Federal government says they may stop paying house officers' salaries. It's a story that broke on Friday. We also brought you all the security stories from around the country, starting from the reports that the Air Force may have accidentally bombed a Nigerian army position yesterday. We also told you that Borno State, that in River State, gunmen attacked 4 checkpoints, reportedly killed up to 8 security operatives, and in Kaduna, gunmen attacked a church. And then we told you that the Lagos State government is setting up its anti-corruption agency, its own anti-corruption agency. And we're wondering if the mandate clashes with that of the EFCC. We'll take Francis' call from Victoria Island, and then I'll take you to India, where they have a crisis on their hands. Hello, Francis.
Good afternoon, President Sandra.
Thanks for calling. Welcome.
So next time, try and look around so that you will see your people at the airport.
Okay, I will.
In fact, Mr. Chris, good afternoon, sir. President Sandra, I'm just seeing this online now, and I didn't just believe it. Not until I heard this from you saying that the army base was mistakenly bombed. Is it for real?
Mm-hmm.
We're in trouble as a nation. We're in trouble. Honestly, we're in trouble. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Francis. Thank you very much for calling. All right, let me take you to India. COVID-19 is killing thousands. Yesterday alone, the country recorded 2,624 deaths and over 346,000 new infections. Those are new records. This is really shocking because just a few weeks ago, India seemed to have, taking control of COVID. They seem to have the outbreak under control. In fact, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was saying that they had defeated COVID. So what changed? Apparently, there's a new strain of COVID in India. It's called B1617. And apparently, this new strain is causing a higher number of hospitalizations and deaths. In fact, hospitals in a lot of Indian towns have reached capacity and there's a general oxygen shortage. That's one of the problems with COVID. Even if your number of new cases goes down, as long as the virus is still in your country circulating, you will get new strains. And eventually a new, more deadly strain will pop up. So it's important. That's why they keep ringing it in your head. Go and get vaccinated. Go and get vaccinated. Go and get vaccinated. And that's also why it's important that Nigeria pays attention. We have to pay attention in Nigeria. Because right now, we're very relieved that the number of new cases in Nigeria has gone down. But remember, it went down in India at first. Now, in Nigeria, we have a decision to make. We've seen other countries banning flights from India. USA just did it, for example. UAE, UK, Indonesia, Iran, Kuwait, all of them are banning flights from what's it called now, India. So the question is Nigeria going to do the same thing? We have our PTF meeting and saying that they're going to take urgent decisions and make new plans around India. Will it include banning flights from India? Because we have a sizable Indian population in Nigeria. Do we really want this new strain to get in here? Have you been paying attention to what's happening in India? What do you think about it? 0700-993-993-993. Oluwashola is in Bariga. I hope she's still there. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you. My contribution is on Lagos State on corruption
agency.
I think for Lagos State to come up with that, I know that Sanwo-Olu has already signed it.
Yes, he has.
But my advice is for the EFCC and ICPC not to transfer the report they have on Lagos State ex-governor and their official, the State Assembly, to their new corruption agent now.
Okay.
They don't want to divide Nigeria because they are talking of unity. EFCC is still working on the report. They quickly set up their hidden agenda. I think somebody should stop it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for calling, Oluwashola. I don't know, why does everybody seem to think that there's some agenda? Why is that the prevailing theory? Why does everybody, why don't we just see it as the good thing that it may be, simply, instead of thinking, oh, this is so that somebody is protected? Why is everybody going in that direction? Ramina Koka, hello. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm very well.
Yeah. The issue of the Air Force shooting at the Air Force...
mistakenly bombing.
Yeah.
Nigerian army. Mm-hmm.
Was it not the same government that an IDP camp was mistakenly bombed?
Yes, it was.
We didn't say... So, are they now telling us they are so incompetent not to know where to shoot at? If you are to ask. For how long are we going to deal with this? I think there is more to that story than what they just gave us. I believe there is more to that story because they can't. They are experts in this. And when last did you hear this from other countries that their Air Force mistakenly release stuff? There's more to this story than what they just gave us. I think we should dig deep into this.
All right, Remy, dig deep into this. Remy says, Lagos, let's take a break. We'll come back and take a few more calls. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. It's 6 minutes to the top of the hour.
Do you have a complaint on the content of a broadcast? Are you dissatisfied with the conduct of a broadcast station? Do you feel aggrieved by any program on the radio or television? You can now lodge a complaint to the broadcast station or write directly to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja. You can also send us an email on info@nbc.gov.ng. Your complaint must include name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and reason for the complaint. Do not forget to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and your signature. It is important that your complaint gets to the NBC within 14 days of the said broadcast. The National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and we've got messages on WhatsApp. Let's try and take a few of them before we come back to the phone lines. We've got Brain from Lekki. Brain says, why on earth will they stop paying house doctors? After 6 or 7 years in school, that's if there's no strike. They will work and train and still depend on their parents. Who are the ones making these decisions safe? All right. More messages coming in via WhatsApp. Let's take a look at some more. Sandra, Lagos State is trying to bury all the alleged crimes committed by some big fish of the state. There's God. God bless Nigeria. That's a message from Dean. Dean, thank you very much. Sandra, what I think concerning Lagos State setting up their own body to investigate both financial and cyber crimes in Lagos, irrespective of the federal government, is wrong. I think this is Bola Tinubu's game plan not to be probed and investigated, so he could not be able to contest in the presidential election of 2023. This doesn't add up. That's a message from Collins in Ikorodu. Collins, thank you for your message. We've got Uche, who's a first-time caller from Yaba. Uche, how are you?
I'm good.
Welcome.
Okay. What I really want to talk about is the issue of shooting in Port Harcourt.
Yes, go ahead.
I can talk about that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, last 2 weeks, I went to Port Harcourt to trying to get access to the airport.
Okay.
It was a horrible experience.
Okay.
Let's say the distance was just from a length of Third Mainland Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we saw over 100 checkpoints. As in, you are giving money at this one, you're already seeing 4 in your front. It was a terrible situation. And they were at risk. Because in as much as whatever you are trying to process, you are equally exposing yourself to criminals. I guess the whole citizens there or the criminals there or whoever they were fed up and they initiated the shooting out. It was a horrible experience that you have to be, in short, you just have to hold a wand of money and sharing as you are going.
Oh my
you
God.
don't need to bring down your hand.
Who are the people? Who are the people?
Police.
Oh.
Police, army, and JTF. In short, they were uniform. We don't know who they were, but they were there collecting money. They were collecting money. Coming from Owerri to is it Omongwa? I think Omongwa, so where the airport is. It was a terrible experience.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still not a good enough reason to extrajudicially kill the police officers and the army officers.
Well, it's not a good reason, but this is that the security agencies have turned themselves to villains. So that when the real villains is now, come up now, people are now applauding for them. That's just the situation we find ourselves that people that should be on the side of the people are now against perpetrating crimes extorting the normal citizens. So people are now hoping for Robin Hood coming to rob them, or if it is, they will definitely not giving back to them, but coming to rob them back. Well,
the problem with Robin Hoods is that when policemen are no longer there to be robbed, they will turn those guns on us. But Uche, thank you very much for calling to share your experience, and I'm terribly sorry that you were extorted while trying to get to the airport. It is quite a sad situation all around, and I do hope that the people whom we've elected and given the mandate to lead this country wake up to their responsibilities. Unfortunately, the only people who can take care of the security architecture of the country at the federal level, because I always tell you that the state governments do not have control over the police, and they definitely do not have control over the army, as can be witnessed by those of you in Lagos when the army shot at peaceful protesters in Lekki. Lagos state government did its best to remind you that they cannot control the army, so they have no control over what the army decides to do or not do. Let's bring you business news. After that, we'll bring you Checkpoint. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili.
Keeping up the pace in an ever-changing world. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.